Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Is it raining still? Is the sun shining? It doesn't matter because you would have come when it was minus 20 degrees and snow. Because I think we have the youngest expert ever in our 20-year Subotron Academy history, I guess. Yeah. And that's for a reason, because this young man, hailing all the way from Hartel Sprengergasse, who did study with this young man here? No one? One? Okay. Was he a good student?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've heard that the IT classes are always the bad guys, bad in a good sense. Is that true?
Bad in a good sense.
Yeah. The bad, like in Michael Jackson bad.
There is always a rivalry between the programmers and the artists.
Yeah, I know. Can you pick up the mic in the back? Okay, thank you. So,
Okay.
Modding. Who invented modding, or whose game engine opened up to the prosumer and started with what's for the audience to use and modify engines? Doom, Quake, and even before? Yes. Wolfenstein 3D, id Software, the two Johns, they kickstarted it coming from like a demo cracker background from the 80s, and we didn't stop, or you didn't stop. I did. I didn't start actually, but luckily this young man here invested his whole teenage years actually into the product, the mod, the game you're gonna see tonight. Who has played it already? Okay. Who liked it very much? Okay, everybody, yeah. So, without further ado, thank you, Stefan, for sharing your insights and the best years of your life with us. And hopefully you can reveal what's next for you. I'm really curious about that too. But first things first, 8 years back, 21, you were 13 when you started?
Yes.
Okay. Did you spend your life in the woods as well?
Before that, yeah.
Okay. So hopefully you're going to spend some more time in the woods as well. But first off, the stage is all yours.
Thank you all for joining me. Well, yeah, I'm Stefan Heinz. He's already introduced me. I'm an Austrian game developer. I'm right here. I play way too much. Oh, this is one slide behind. I play way too much Minecraft. And yeah, I just released my first game. This is that game. It's called Port Revolution, right there. One thing you gotta know about me, just so you get to know me better, is that I really like jank. I really like bad graphic design. This is a site that all of us have seen in Vienna before. Comic Sans and the best fonts, SpongeBob Kebab. That slide actually is a parody slide that friend and me made in school. That smiley in the background, we had a teacher who put that smiley on his slides on the top right. Always asked ourselves what it was. And on one slide, there was actually a second one. Turned out this meant that it's really important to study that slide in particular, especially if it has two smileys. I've only seen it once. I've never seen a slide in my life, though. But yeah, you can make your beautiful corporate slides that no one will look at, but I just prefer to make stuff like this. This is Portal Revolution. Obviously, it's just a cop-out that I don't want to do graphic design. But hey, no. You know, the person in the universe, they can't do graphic design. Not me, no. Those gears, by the way, someone wrote a whole wiki article about those. Their role in Portal Revolution. I mean, look at this. Serve as a conspicuous visual markers that draw players' attention to the significant role and influence exerted by this entity within the game's narrative and overarching gameplay experience. You have to study that slide. But yeah, what is Port Revolution? Who has played it? You already asked it, but let's raise our hands again. A good number of people who have no idea what it is. Well, let's look at the Steam page. It just tells us that we've been waiting for it for a long time. That doesn't tell us much. It's been 8 years, in fact. So yeah, other than that, but it's better than Portal 2's, where they just put patch notes into their Steam description and then never removed them for 10 years. The media, what do they have to say? IGN says Port Revolution is basically a full-sized fan-made prequel releasing very soon. You get a thumbs up smiley from me for that. That's a good description, IGN. Thank you very much. PC Gamer says a fan-made 7-hour Portal 2 prequel just hit Steam for free, and it's so good that I'm sad Valve stopped making Portal all over again. Didn't say Port Revolution in the title, but sure, you get a thumbs up. At least you said it is fan-made. PC Games N, however, Steam's top-rated game is getting a free 8-hour prequel campaign. Somebody reposted this on Tumblr, and people got mad at me for deceiving them, making them think that it's a real game and not a mod. You don't get a smiley, you get a sadie from me, as PC Games, and you didn't even spell Port Revolution right. There's a colon that's missing. Rock, Paper, Shotgun, I think they interviewed me before release. I forgot. That's a good description. You even get 2 thumbs up smileys from me, but also a sadie that I'm not going to crop because I couldn't get past your cookie banner. It's literally impossible to decline them. But yeah, do we want to watch the trailer? If this works. Where's my mouse? Hello? Aha.
Just look at this place. All been falling apart after she was murdered. She was the only thing keeping this place together. If we want to survive, somebody has to get this place back in shape. Yeah, that's our job now. Isn't it exciting?
That's Sir Doc. Wow, I've not been here in ages. Hasn't changed a bit.
I just had to have an Australian voice actress in this mod. I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Yeah, that trailer took a long time to make, and it was pretty successful. Some stats of the mod before we get into the real meat. This is outdated. I think we've got over 16,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews now. Over 500,000 unique players, so there's people who've actually launched the game, not just installed it, because over 1.5 million people have added to the Steam account. And yeah, what blew me away about the trailer is that we received over 1 million views in just 9 days, which then made it the biggest mod trailer for Portal 2 of all time, surpassing Portal Stories Mel, which had 8 years to get 900,000 views. But yeah, I'm standing here alone, but I've also been many other people who have contributed. The core team is about 4 to 7 people, depends on who you count as a core developer. It's obviously me, and we had another 3D modeler and mapper, a graphics programmer and 3D modeler, somebody who did just environment art, and the 2 voice actors that you've just heard, as well as a music producer who made the music that you just heard. In the credits, however, there are also over 45 other credited names. These are people like the engine programmers who don't work necessarily directly on Revolution, but have contributed over time. Former team members that have left, people who just released the assets and we just took them. With permission, of course, we asked them and then they're credited. And also individual contributions where we just asked people, hey, can you make this texture for us? And then they did. So yeah, let's go through the team. You already know me. My credits are very long. It doesn't even fit on one page. But let's not, we will learn enough about me anyway. Tristan joined us as a model, as a mapper, but then did more and more 3D modeling and animation. Like he made these environments, and most of our 3D key models, like the custom destroyed portal gun or the spire. By the way, spoilers for this game. Our custom player model. He's really good at making source engine materials look good, because making things shiny in that engine is not easy. And our cones. These cones have become a bit of a meme. People made fan art of the cones. They love the cones so much. Obviously, it's internet, so people make cat cones. It doesn't surprise me, honestly. Dustin did a lot of environment art and mapping. This is a background map that mostly Tristan and I made, but then Dustin took it and made it a background map and added interactivity and like falling stuff and all of the things that, because I can't be bothered to make them, and he really likes it, so that's good. Yeah, he also did a lot of bug fixes, like that stuff goes so unappreciated, but I couldn't be bothered to fix every single bug post-release, but he did. Rory made our amazing volumetrics. This has kind of been the holy grail of source engine graphics, because everyone talks about wanting to program this, but then nobody ever does, but he did. He also made some other 3D models like the doors and the Schrödinger's cube. He worked on that thing. Jared made the music, over 90 individual sound files, because our music is very dynamic and changes depending on what you do. This takes a long time to make. There will be a way to support him later. Sarah and Will, our two voice actors who voiced Sterling and Conley, the two chorus. This is also a fan render. Let's give these guys some applause, please. So yeah, when Yogi asked me, hey, do you want to do a talk? I was like, oh, sure. Not going to pass up that opportunity. But then he asked me what I'm going to talk about. And, I've spent 8 years on this thing. I have a lot of things to say. I don't know how to fit this all in one talk, but you have to study that. There's a lot of things that I could talk about, right? Why I got fired from P2C, all the dirty hacks, why I use Blender for 2D graphic design. We can all talk about those things later. But then, I got an email. I'm not going to put the full email here. I'm just going to paraphrase it. It was basically, hey, my son likes Portal and your mod. How did you make your mod? And do you have any advice for him? And this is a question that I've got a few times. Like, how do I get into modding? How do I make a Portal mod? And I'm thinking about this. I have no idea, because there's not a clear path to do this. You just kind of got to do it. So I want to share my modding journey in a minute, but before that, why do people even make mods, right? Sure, Portal is cool and it's fun to make a mod. If you believe the media, they always say things like, Valve doesn't make Portal free, so the community has to do it themselves. If that's the only reason for making a mod, you're not gonna ship. If you just wanna make Portal free, you're not gonna satisfy yourself. Sure, making games is fun, right? And as a modder, you have a lot of head start. You have an existing engine and gameplay concepts and story and all of that to build off. An existing audience. No one plays your indie game. People will play your mod. But also with that comes expectations. Not just quality, but also people know what Portal is, and you really have to invent stuff. You can't just do the same thing over and over again. Also, you have a lot of limitations. A lot of limitations. I can tell you from experience, in Portal 2 you can't even change the UI in any way. You can move it, but you can't add any functionality. I think the main reason for why most of us people start modding is because all of us have played a game and thought, hey, I want to make my own puzzles, I want to make my own levels, I can add my own gameplay elements. And with modding you can do that. My main inspiration was definitely Portal Stories ML. That's another mod that has released in 2015. I started in 2016, so right after. There have been other mods like Aperture Tag and Thing with Time Machine and Portal Prelude, Portal Unity. So there have been a lot of other mods. There was a lot of things that I could draw from. You have to study this list as well. Valve also cut a lot of elements. They promised us these pneumatic diversity events and then never shipped them in the game. So these are obvious things that you can use in your mod and like experiment with. So yeah, my modding journey. Warnings, this timeline isn't linear. When I go through my screenshots folder, I'm always surprised when things happened, and that things that happened in 2018, I thought happened in 2021. Another warning is going to be unfinished stuff. Most of these screenshots are in development, like mid-development from the actual era. My playtesters always freak out when they see unfinished stuff. It looks so bad. Well, it's unfinished. I'm also going to go very quickly, as you've already seen. I hope you will understand what I'm going to say. And spoilers for Portal Stories Mel, because that's, yeah. I started by just downloading the offering tools off Steam, like everyone else can do, and made a series called Portalize. This is actually an old, weird Android game. It's like a knockoff of Portal. But I thought, hey, let's just remake those levels. I started with the first room, and as you can see, it doesn't resemble it much, like it at all. I just kind of made a basic shape and then made my own stuff. The second one, that has nothing to do with the first one. I was basically just learning, and I thought, hey, I made 4 crappy maps. It's time to make a mod. I'm good enough for that. I like Mel. I really like that mod. It's going to be between Portal 1 and 2, just like Portal Stories Mel. It's going to be a prequel to Mel, because why not? It's going to use the pneumatic diversity events that I've just shown, and the reflecting gel, which is another cut element. This has not survived. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's not as useful as it sounds. Things I was good at the time when I was 13. I enjoyed mapping. I rather did mapping than play Minecraft. I had a lot of time. I was 13. I had a lot of determination for no reason. And I had a relentless patience with teaching myself things. I think these 2 qualities are the ones that have driven me to make this mod for 8 years, because everyone always asks me, why do you torture yourself for 8 years? And I don't know why. I was bad at. I didn't know how to make puzzles, didn't know how source works, didn't know how to make stuff look good, didn't know how to develop a story, didn't know how to make music, organize a project. I was useless. I had no idea about anything. But yeah, let's make a story as a 13-year-old. Well, I thought, Wheatley seems like he doesn't like GLaDOS. Maybe other cores exist that also don't like GLaDOS. And that's where the revolution comes from, in Portal Revolution. They're going to try to destroy GLaDOS in her sleep. Very morbid, but yeah, that was their story at the time. And you would add GLaDOS to the kill list of ages. This is the character in Mel that later tries... I'm not going to try to explain it, but the idea was that it was going to be a prequel to Mel, and this was the device that allowed this. And we're, for some reason, going to need a player. The core can't do it alone. I don't know why. So we need a test subject. And the test subject is then sent on a mission to help the core. That was the pitch from the start. A lot of this has still stuck with the game. Yeah, you're going to activate ages, and then the game ends. There was no conflict at the time. In the gameplay, I wanted to add Portal 1 chambers as a tutorial, because we've only played them twice, right? Why not a third time? And then I would have my own chambers that are harder, like in Mel. I really just copied Mel. I'm going to have pneumatic diversity event puzzles, because why not? So I started making some crappy remakes of Portal 1, built some pneumatic diversity event levels, some more Portal 1 levels, experimented with texturing, I'm going to skip through this real quick. It's just in development screenshots, so you can see the progression. The thing that all of these maps had in common was that they were just fluff. They had no substance to them. They were just noise on the screen and no gameplay. You would just walk along this path, and there was no gameplay here. Yeah, I was especially bad at Overgrown. Didn't know how to make it look good. When you start out mapping, you think the graphics are everything. You learn that lesson later. I got really over-enthusiastic about color theory. I thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell the player that the blue light doesn't match up with the red wall, so they're not gonna notice it, but they're gonna want to walk to the orange lit area with the red, because that fits better. Yeah, you get pretentious like that. I got better at lighting, and I just made some more maps. The feedback, however, this was an era of around 16 to 18. It was over 2 years of just mapping. Why am I playing Portal 2 again? Or yeah, people always ask me that. What's the story here? There was no voice acting at the time. The visuals, I really tried to do good visuals, didn't work, but even those didn't fool anyone that the game was actually good. It was just unoriginal, it had no direction. It was just terrible. So I rethought the story a bit. Okay, well, or the structure. Well, chapter 1 is going to have monoportal puzzles. That means that you only have the blue portal. Um, but I want to do my own chambers. I didn't, chapter 2, I don't know, let's do Overgrown because it looks good. Chapter 3, I kind of forgot about pneumatic diversity events for whatever reason, because I didn't know how to make gameplay for them. It's going to use this basement style that I then developed. Chapter 4 would just be the race to activate ages. That was the crude story pitch at the time. It had these weird transition areas in between that were behind the scenes areas that I didn't know where to place. Like, I didn't know what the gameplay would be. It took me a long time to figure that out. So yeah, I just made some new chambers. This was the first time I got good results with making lighting look good in Overgrown test chambers. I made another one, and that one was kind of a turning point for me because I would still put this into the game. This really kind of told me, hey, I can make stuff look good. I kind of checked off that box, at least in Source Engine, which is very constrained. Yeah, made some more mono portal puzzles. There's the other portal. This one will seem familiar to those who have played the game. That's the basement style I developed with a lot of like metal. This has changed a lot since. I got better at like non-linear level design at the time, like where you don't just have room after room after room, but you kind of loop back into the same area, and you can see where you have been, and you will see where you will go. That stuff is just nice. I got much better at that as I went on. There was a weird area like to transition you from the Overgrown, which is up here in Aperture, to the basement, which is down here. I just had like a random elevator crash where you just try to go up and then it just crashes. Not random at all. Yeah, some more laser introduction stuff. Sterling used to look like this. It was green. And this was meant to be like chipped off paint. It didn't look like that. It looked like he was moldy. It was called Pete at the time. Then there was a mapping competition which I took part in. It was the Thinking with Portals behind the scenes mapping competition. This was December 2018 or like November. Submissions were due December, yeah. My entry was Neurotoxic Disaster. This is on the workshop still. The story is as follows. GLaDOS just gassed everyone in the facility. You somehow survived. We don't know why. And then you have to find your way through the facility, figure out what to do. It was kind of explorative and non-linear. Then GLaDOS would catch you and would gas you again, and you would have a timer that you have to be quicker than a timer to escape to an area that doesn't have gas. But then she catches you again and rebuilds the test chamber around you, and it's implied that you're now gonna solve test chambers again or whatever. This is where the game ends. The reviews were pretty good, especially since this was my first workshop map that I ever published. The things I learned from this, I didn't win the competition, by the way. It was the first time that I actually got strangers to play something I made. Up until then, my mod was only played by my friends and family. I knew that my puzzles sucked. This map didn't have any puzzles. In a puzzle game, that's pretty bad. Also, this single map was more fun than my entire mod, which was bad because I just spent over like 2 or 3 years on a mod, and that one map was better. But I also learned that I'm okay at atmosphere, story building, that sort of stuff, because players really like that aspect of it seems to be a mystery at the start, and then we have to race to escape GLaDOS. Players really love to explore areas. That's something I try to do more and more. For a linear game, it's you can't do that much. And also got experience just shipping stuff. That's important, right? So I looked at the game, at the mod. Chapter 1 had terrible visuals. Gameplay was okay, it was monoportals. It wasn't unique, but no other mod had done it before. Or at least no Portal 2 mods had done it before. Chapter 2's visuals were great. The gameplay, I didn't know what it was. I just made random areas, kind of. Chapter 3 was cool in both ways. The gameplay was interesting with the pneumatic diversity event stuff. And the visuals were also kind of okay. So yeah, my new goals for then were, Chapter 1 is going to stay the same. It's going to be monoportal puzzles. It's going to be like the tutorial section of the game where we reintroduce Portal 2's elements. Because a lot of mods just throw the player into the deep end right away and don't give them any introduction to what they're actually going to do. Because most players, I think, in my mind, most Portal players have played Portal in 2011 when it came out and haven't touched it since. So they will have forgotten how the laser works or what the blue gel does. So I wanted to reintroduce those elements. It's important that the first chapter has a good difficulty curve, because if that's not the case, everyone's going to quit right in there. I don't know what chapter 2 was at the time, but for real, I liked Overgrown. I didn't want to cut the idea because I really liked it and I managed to get it to look okay. But I didn't know what the gameplay was. And why are we even going to the surface, right? There were a lot of story questions I had there. Chapter 2's elements will stay vac tubes. That's going to be the same. It's going to be in the basement, which is this style. So I just made some more vac tube puzzles. This one will look familiar. 2019 is around the time where you first see things that are still in the game that haven't been cut. Like this one is one that I made at the time. It's been upgraded since. I made some new starting areas. This will look familiar. This will also look familiar, but it's been relit. And you know, all of these rooms, this isn't in the game anymore. All of these areas that we see now have been made in like that era. I experimented with some Overgrown. I still didn't know what the gameplay was, but I just made like flinging puzzles and just experimented with stuff, experimented with some different lighting situations. This will seem familiar as well, even though it's been completely changed. Yeah, I kind of got a bit better at knowing what chapter 2 was. The gameplay is now going to be momentum, like flinging around and shooting portals and working with gels and stuff like that. I wanted to have a day-night cycle that later changed, but that was the idea at the time. And you would get the full portal gun halfway at the sunset, and then there would be these like darker sections with like turrets. They're kind of going to be, why is that? Okay. These like darker sections with turrets that are kind of meant to be like a bit more creepy and you don't know what's going on. I don't know if it comes across that way in the game, but that was the intent. So yeah, I built some more areas. And these will all look familiar. This has changed a lot. This has changed. This is the Half-Life 2 texture that has the same texture name as the one in Portal 2. And for some reason, I overrode it by accident. Then it looked crappy like that. I don't know why you had to call it the same way in Portal 2 and Half-Life 2 Valve. Another mapping competition. Yay, this is 1 year afterwards. There was actually a prize. It was a towering competition. So the theme was towering. You can interpret it however you want. My competition entry is called The Climb. There were 2 parts because it was so big. I think we had 3 weeks, and everyone always asked me, how did you manage to do this much stuff in 3 weeks? I don't know. Yeah, the story of that map series is you start in the bottommost layers of the enrichment center and have to climb up to the surface. The map was called The Climb. It made sense. There were going to be test chambers that make sense with the theme, and it also had some behind-the-scenes puzzles that like are somewhat unique, like spreading gels through vents, which is something that most workshop maps don't do. This was more successful than my first workshop map. Got more ratings and more comments. You have to study these stats as well. Why is that even on the top right there? Okay. Yeah, what I learned from that is that players really love story. I think it was just the gameplay was successful because it wasn't too difficult, right? A lot of players are kind of bored by just solving puzzles, puzzle after puzzle after puzzle. So there was a lot of variation in that map, which is what players really enjoyed, and you really feel the progression of going from the bottom to the top. It doesn't feel like you're just endlessly testing. I think it also worked like from a marketing standpoint. Marketing on workshop, I know, but the map is called The Climb, which tells you immediately what your goal is, sort of. And also I think a 2-parter makes it feel bigger. If it was just one map, it wouldn't seem as big, even though it's the same size. Yeah, and again, this map was better than my entire mod up until that point. I didn't want to admit it, but it was. At the same time, this is like late 2019, this around November. Valve announced a new game. It was called Half-Life Alyx. Has anyone played that thing? Really nobody. None of you have a VR headset. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm only going to show things that are in the trailer. But that game, I'm a big Valve fan, and that was very inspirational. Yeah, no spoilers ahead here. The vault is like the goal that you have to head in. It was a nice goal that was always visible. It was introduced early on, and you would always be reminded of it. You would always see what your goal is, and you would get closer to it physically, so you knew what you were fighting for. You didn't know what it contained, but you knew that it was important, and I think that's really hard to make often, to tell the player, hey, this is important, but still adding some mystery to why, what's actually going on there. The level design is great in that game because it isn't just room after room again. The world really feels natural. Like in this area here, you start up at the top there, then you wind your way through to the bottom, go through like 15 fences, then it's finally in the compound, and then you have to solve a puzzle to get out of there. This isn't only great for like immersion, but also it's less decoration work because you can reuse the same area. So from a business standpoint, it's also smart to design this way. The story was really easy to understand, which is a problem that I had in my mod. And it wasn't too overwhelming or complicated or contrived. It's easy to follow. Oops, that's actually fine. And it's a prequel that has stakes. I think this is something that's really difficult. A lot of like Star Wars media nowadays is prequels, right? And a lot of fans always say, well, what are the stakes? I already know that the Death Star is gonna explode. Spoilers for a 50-year-old movie. At the same time, this is early 2020. You might have heard of this COVID thing. So yeah, I had a lot more work now. I mean, a lot more time, not a lot more work. And if that was enough, we got this Portal 2 source code. I can't tell you how long that took. I mean, I can't tell you. It took me a year of just writing emails to Valve to get that thing. This is the message that we had a Discord bot that would tell us once we could connect to the server. And remember this? It just removed the limitations. We can do anything now. We actually got the source code for Portal 2 and CSGO, so we kind of just took CSGO's engine and put Portal 2 on top. And so now we have a lot more features that I'm going to show. This was originally meant for Community Edition, which was a mod that I also worked on. We partnered up with Momentum mod team, which is like a B-hop game, climb game, all of these like source engine movement things are in that game. Founded Stratosaurus, like kind of collaborated on founding Stratosaurus, which is the name of the game engine that we now also use, which is the modified version of Source. So with all of those things, it's time to rethink this game. The layer cake that I'm gonna make up, we can talk about this later if you disagree with how this works. I think at the bottom you have like the gameplay, what elements you have. On top of that, you can build your structure, like which chapters flow into which other. On top of that, you can build your characters and the setting, which is the visuals, and the identity, which is like the marketing stuff. Time to overhaul the gameplay. These transition areas, let's turn these into proper chapters, right? We're just gonna now have not 4 chapters, but 4 acts, and each act will have 2 chapters, so it looks like this, right? Act 1 has chapter 1 and 2, Act 2 has chapter 3 and 4. It's just, let's just make the game twice as big, why not? Chapter 1 will still have test chambers. It's gonna be monoportal still. Most of these puzzles haven't changed. These are actually finished screenshots now. Chapter 2 is gonna be behind the scenes, and I wanted to make puzzles that make sense in behind the scenes. A lot of people put things like for example, like breaking glass or wind turbines that blow things away, or conveyor belts. I see some mappers that put like wind turbines into their test chambers, and that can work. But I think it's fun to have like the test elements match the theme of the area. Like here, it's the wind turbines in the background, in the behind the scenes area. Oh yeah, these cables are powered by Stratosaurus. I can now toggle wind on and off. That was not possible before. Incredible technology, I know. Chapter 3 is going to have monoportals with flings and gels, hasn't changed. I also made up these new cleansing fields, which are like showers that block gels from going through. This is the introduction chamber for that. You can't see them. I should have taken a better screenshot. Oh, the shadows are powered by Stratosaurus. I'll talk about that more in a second. Chapter 4 will have the full portal gun, finally. Still have cleansing fields, but also these power switches. It's not a power switches map, but this is a full portal gun map. None of this is powered by Strata. This is boring. Act 3. It's the midway point of the game. Let's give the player some more exploration, some more story. It's been very puzzle heavy and dry up until this point. Also going to introduce the vacuum tubes, which is like here, these like more story-driven areas. And chapter 6 is going to have the proper vacuum puzzles, like the one that you saw before, but now it's more graphics. Thank you, Tristan. Chapter 4 is new because now we have the Schrödinger's cube, which is a test element that Valve left in the game code that they just didn't use for whatever reason. So we just took it and enabled it. Yeah, these are powered by Strata because code is nice. These are the cubes. It's like a pair of cubes. One has an input, one has an output. And if you shoot a laser into one, it comes out the other, and it's a really cool gameplay element. I had to make all of the assets ourselves, though. Powered by Stratosaurus. And the final chapter is just going to be it's just going to be the finale. The game is long enough. I'm going to spoil you the finale. Yeah, let's overhaul the story. The framework that I had, that I'm not going to change, is it's still going to be between Portal 1 and 2. The progression from Act 1 to 3, this should say Act, won't change. I'm not going to remake all of the puzzles. Yeah, Chapter 1 is going to be the clean style in the middle, Overgrown is be at the top, and then Basement is going to be at the bottom layer. And you're always going to be just a random test subject who is awoken to destroy GLaDOS. That has changed since then. Yeah, some cleaning up. Let's remove ages. Mel is cool, but let's make a unique mod. I was going to remove the random elevator crash. That was just a terrible idea. I even knew it at the time. Things that I didn't know at the time is who's the core that wakes you up? How do you achieve the goal, like to destroy GLaDOS, then repair GLaDOS? Why would we solve puzzles, right? These are some story questions that you have. What's the ending? It's pretty important for a game. What's the conflict generally? You can't just do things one after the other. It's not going to be interesting. Why do we go to the surface? Why do we go to the basement? Let's answer these questions. Oh, another disclaimer. It took me 4 years to answer these questions, right? In hindsight, it seems obvious. But when you're working on this stuff, it really isn't. The core is Sterling. He's a janitor. And his goal is GLaDOS is dead, everything is falling apart, and this little ball can't maintain the entire facility himself. And rogue AI, he tries to activate GLaDOS, which makes sense from his point of view. And he can't do that alone for whatever reason. Don't know why. We have to make one up. And so we need to revive a player. To achieve the goal, we're going to make up this Spire thing, which is a teleporter that can rebuild GLaDOS somehow. We can also use this as a boss fight stage. It looks pretty cool. And we're going to use this in the Act 3 come-uppance, which is a funny word that I learned. Why do we even solve puzzles? Why doesn't Sterling just help us through the test chambers? In Portal 2, we learned something, but we got to come up with our own reason. Well, in Chapter 1, maybe he actually tries to test us to see if we're fit for the journey. Right, makes sense. In Chapter 2, this is kind of a cop-out, but I'm saying like, oh yeah, the chambers are broken down, and the panels don't work, and the catwalks are made of like paper straws or whatever, so they're all gone. In Chapter 3, Conley actually tries to help you in the beginning, but then she can't because the chambers aren't as malleable. This bottom right chamber is like one of the areas you see there are not really any arm panels that she can use to help you. Chapter 4 is just the same as chapter. These should say acts. I didn't change that. Act 4 is just the same as 2 because it's also overgrown. The ending is, well, we're fighting Sterling to prevent him from reviving GLaDOS. Seems pretty natural. Yeah, I already said that. We're going to introduce that. But yeah, that's actually really nice because to have the timer in the finale, you got to have some sort of like charging up sequence or something, right? Like, why do we have a timer? And the story in Revolution is that you break the Spire first in like the second act, at the end of the second act, and that explains why it's like broken and why he has to rebuild it or recharge it. That's the highest resolution picture I could find. The conflict is that at first you help Sterling unknowingly, and then he goes against you, or rather you go against him because he never changed his mind, you did. What I like about this is that Sterling's motivations are still understandable, right? I really like characters that aren't just evil or good, but rather have different motivations, and those motivations just clash, but you can understand both motivations. Oh yeah, and to help with that, it's good to introduce a new character, because the player isn't really expressive, right? The test subject who you embody doesn't really emote or say anything. So having another character to like tell you what your goal is helps with that. Now these questions answer themselves. Why do we go to the surface? Well, that's where the Spire is. Why do we go to the basement? Because the Spire breaks and teleports you down. The characters. These took me a long time. I spent so much time on these. Old Sterling, the green the green guy. He used to be a demolition core actually at first, and the idea was that he was just a rogue AI, and he just tries to break GLaDOS because why not? Great storytelling, 13-year-old me. Other than that, I didn't know who he was. New Sterling is a janitor, I always said that. Fun backstory we added much later is that he used to be a vacuum cleaner and then he got upgraded. People really like that. Yeah, he can't maintain aperture, so he's got to revive GLaDOS. And I don't think this ended up being that obvious in the game, but the idea is that the robots in Aperture all kind of see humans as ants, the same way we don't care if we step on an ant. At least, maybe you do. The same way they don't care if a human survives or not. He uses us, if no longer useful, he doesn't have much empathy for us. Conley, the fan favorite character, she used to be a human. Actually, she used to be an Aperture AI researcher who scanned her brain in a unit test or whatever, and then got accidentally loaded into a robot decades later. It's a concept I find pretty interesting. It was nice to add that into a story. Some nice backstory we can add there is because she was an AI researcher, maybe she worked on GLaDOS, and that is a nice opposing force sort of to Sterling. Something we added later with the vacuum cleaner story is that maybe she built Sterling, gives this funny mum dynamic that we only touched in the end fight. Yeah, those two characters. Let's overall the setting, not the settings menu. The visuals, in half of the episode 1 and 2, they kind of said how they, in the first game, they had like orange atmosphere, orange lighting, orange environments, and in the second one it's much bluer. And I thought that's nice, let's be pretentious like that. Let's have Act 1 be orange as well. Act 2 is gonna be plants and sky, I guess. Most importantly is that Act 1 and 3 are different because they're both in modern Aperture offices. These offices look entirely the same from a material standpoint. So having some visual difference in the lighting really helped to know, hey, this screenshot is from Act 1, this screenshot is from Act 3. Act 4 is just gonna be a mixture of all. So yeah, this is what these chambers looked before, and then I just changed the lighting, and it looked so much better. This was so quick. Oh, powered by Stratosaurus again. What was this again? Yeah, the light fade on these portals. You could fade lights before, but you couldn't do it fast. Now we can do it fast. Impressive technology, I know. Yeah, like these lighting upgrades, I just did this all in a week, I think. But it helped so much to give the mod a better identity. Oh, do we have another powered by Stratosaurus? No, because these lights are also powered by Stratosaurus. Oh, and that is especially powered by Stratosaurus. Look at those dynamic lights. Yeah, actually Rory made those. Already said that. Those are also powered by Stratosaurus. New shadows, look at that. Something that no player will notice when they play Revolution, but we had the CSGO shadowing, like Cascade shadow map technology now, which we can use for massive open areas. So obviously I made a way too massive area that I never finished. Yeah, but I recycled every single prop from there. So this has been recycled, this has been recycled, everything has been recycled here. Medium size works better. I tried to upgrade old Overgrown areas to use the new lighting technique like this, and it didn't look good. The problem is, I made this in Blender, the projected textures that we used before for dynamic lights are all diverging rays, right? It's like a flashlight, it diverges. So if you place the light here, it reaches further into the room, whereas the parallel rays that are realistic for sunlight, it's kind of like a tube, and if you don't make the ceiling open and big, you're not gonna see any sunlight in there. So this is one of the other areas that I rebuilt that's still in the game. This is it with projected textures. And you can see that I had to open up the ceiling a bunch to let any light in there. Now that the ceiling is open, we have to take some, we can't just use the same white texture that Portal 2 has for its skybox. So we use this one everywhere. Clarence Midday, it's beautiful. We're way too obsessed with it. I also made some custom ones in this program called TerraGen. Mostly for like custom areas like these where you have a sunset and you kind of want the sun to be lower. Hard to find existing skyboxes for that. Also an in-development screenshot of that. Yeah, now I just have some Act 3 stuff. Early version of that wooden chamber. I try to stick to like the cold color palette with the concrete everywhere to make it feel cold again, yeah. Oh, the physics simulation Blender tarp. We're obsessed with Blender. Yeah, more blue everywhere, wooden chambers. I wanted to have like the transition from the wooden chambers at the beginning of that act to like metal chambers at the end to kind of show that Aperture has been progressing through the eras. You actually see some like some signage like 1980, and then it always ticks up. And then at the end you end up in like 1990 or something. So you see Aperture progress through like 10 years. Yeah, getting nighttime Overgrown to look well wasn't that easy at first because there was no reference for me, at least not in Source Engine. Was as easy as just changing out the light color of the sun to be blue. But then I tried to add as much, because it was so dark, I added like artificial lights, like the lasers and the orange fuse box up there to kind of simulate how a campfire would look in a dark nighttime forest, to kind of make it feel comfy. Worked on the Spire, early version of that. I love this cylinder that is just floating. That is an early version of that. Yeah, the design of that was meant that it's very white and like sterile, to have like a big contrast from the outside areas. Visuals were inspired by like Spider-Verse, if anyone has seen that, with the collider, with like the white lights everywhere. Stanley Parable did a similar thing. I liked that aesthetic. Also, Star Wars Andor came out, and then Akina 5 Prison has this nice sterile aesthetic with the metal tiles that I really liked. It's obviously inspired by Half-Life 2 Episode 1. I mean, I can't, Tristan always told me, we gotta use that shader, we gotta use that same ball. I'm like, can't make it the exact same, come on. The identity, I struggled with finding an identity for the mod for a long time, like knowing what the logo would be and all of that. When I made this like switch from blue to orange, I really liked the orange feel. It felt so unique because Portal 2 and 1, they're always like very cold and blue, which makes sense for what they're trying to tell. And it's a great aesthetic. But to set it apart, at some point I just took the Half-Life Alyx logo, which looks like this. It's not a logo, it's just a Steam icon. I just copied that, made my own version of just Aperture logo. I kind of liked it. I kind of like the red color. No other mod has done that before from what I know. Tried to come up with some full-size logos, they all look terrible. The sand red and sand weird white color just didn't look great. These colors were just terrible, as so were these. And however, blue isn't great either. It felt very unoriginal. It just felt like it's Portal 2 all over again. The orange one was kind of cool, but Portal 2 Community Edition already did that. I didn't want to do the same thing. So I just ended up with the red again. I took the red, and the logo just felt right. It felt unique and interesting. It still showed you it's Portal. A lot of other modders make their crazy logos that don't even look like Portal in any way. I thought it was important that you can still notice that it's Portal. The icon has changed. It's now a better color. I made it simpler. That gets a thumbs up for me. I like the gradient. Yeah, this like gradient aesthetic, it's really simple, right? But a bad graphic designer like me, if it's not simple, I'm not gonna make it. So I also applied the same thing to the achievement icons that I made. I made those in Blender, obviously. I actually wrote a script that would generate unachieved versions automatically by, this is the script, it would just go into the compositor and like turn this knob to 0, which would desaturate it, and then back to 1, and then give me the full version. Blender is great. Yeah, in the store page, I think it shows the red logo, and the first thing you see on the is the trailer with the orange sunset. It's red has really become the Portal Revolution color. It's on the website and everywhere. This is fun. The red portal gun and red portal, we didn't have those in the game until like a month before release or something, because yeah, when we released the trailer, people really liked the red portals. They said, this game better have red portals, otherwise I'm gonna, I don't know, do nothing. But yeah, then I thought, hey, let's add the red portals and make like a red portal gun. The idea, we couldn't develop this too much, but the idea is that it's like it is like a phone skin, like a phone case for the portal gun, and it says like, dangerous equipment or something, and you don't know if it's actually dangerous or if it's just a funny phone case. Yeah, and then the game released in January. I actually got it in pretty good time, so that's how I made Portal Revolution. If you want to, it's a free mod. If you want to support me, you can buy this. You don't have to. Don't want to advertise too much, but definitely, please, the music producer, come on, he made such a great thing. The soundtrack is also available on Steam. Yeah, one thing I want to say last, is that mods are great. I can only stand here because Valve allowed me and us to make this mod, and so many game companies try to do everything in their power to destroy mods, to sue modders or crackers. We all know, we can all tell a few companies from our top of our head who do this stuff. They all start with N, don't they? There was actually a post about I'm not gonna mention it because it's actually fake. But yeah, I have a last slide, which is very good. Thank you for listening. This is slide 250, which means that at 45 minutes, which I didn't get, it's about 5 slides per minute or a slide every 10 seconds. Thank you all. This is where I can get in touch.
Impressive indeed. Let's slow things down a little bit.
Yeah, please.
If I knew, I would have given you 50 minutes. Would that help? Maybe next time? Take a long sip.
I have a lot of topics here that I can still talk about.
Go on.
I just have to find it. I have 250 slides. Wait, this is a black slide. Git commits. Where is it? Applause. No, we don't have to do it again if you don't want to. There it is. Yeah. Yes.
Anybody want to pick
Why
something?
does Stratter have 6 UI frameworks? That's a good one. I didn't know it has 6, but it does. It does.
Let's give the man a 30 seconds break. First question, maybe?
Hello. Thank you for the nice presentation. It was very interesting.
Thank you for watching me.
I'm interested in how you started this alone, and when was the point that you started working with a team, and how did you assemble that team? I'm asking that because I find it very interesting to do, as I understood, global teamwork with people that you don't know. I don't know if you have met any of the people that you ever worked with.
I have not, no.
And I find it very interesting to do it, but I find it also quite scary because it's very difficult to have a sort of sense of reliability. So I'm just curious, when did you start to reach out to other people and start collaborating with them? And yeah, how was that feeling of maintaining that collaboration and reliability?
So that's this question then, okay. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that because I learned a lot on managing a team, and I pretty much made it by myself for like a year. And in 2017, I put the mod up on Steam Greenlight when it still existed, and it was like number 2 on Steam Greenlight. I don't know why, because it was so terrible, but yeah, it was greenlit, and then I had another workshop. I now had the ability to publish the game on Steam. And from that, there was a lot of publicity, right? People saw it on Greenlight and stuff. And I posted the mod on ModDB. And from there, people contacted me, like I was at a Discord server, like, hey, I want to make some music for your mod, or I want to help with mapping and stuff. But I think you also, I also reached out to a lot of people. Most of the people from when I was around 2018 or something, I didn't know what I was doing, of course. And then I got a bit better. I kind of rebuilt the entire team after we got code. And the people that we have on the team, it's really a lot of coincidences. It's people just knew about the mod. I'm gonna stop this. People knew about the mod, right? I was active in the modding communities, and there are often like advertising boards or something where you can say, hey, I am looking for these people. Never publish anything on those, but yeah, I just worked with other people on on Discord who also did modding, right? If there's already an existing modding scene, then it's easier to talk to people. If you're just kind of doing your own thing, a lot of people just do it with their buddy, IRL, right? Wasn't the case for me. Our voice actors, I looked for people outside of the modding community specifically, because I don't know if you know Harry101 UK. He's like a YouTuber that makes a lot of Portal content, Portal animations and songs and stuff like that. He's very well known, and he also voice acted in many mods, which is great. I just didn't want him in my game, not because I hate him, but because I just wanted something different for once. So I just posted it on, I just made like a post on Casting Call Club. It's like a website for like indie voice actors and music people and stuff like that. And I got a lot of submissions through there. But I also just looked for people like Sarah, for example. I found her on that site as well. Jared actually did apply. He made the music. Will, the other voice actor for Sterling, I found on another forum where I posted, and he sent me an email. Yeah, did these things always happen very differently? I don't know. Are you interested in making a mod?
No, I'm not so much interested in making mod, but I do work in game jams sometimes. And what I find sometimes difficult is like, because you've never met the people, it's very difficult to have this sense of reliability on them. And I've also seen like teams sort of breaking up out of nowhere. And especially if there's no money involved, it's sometimes very difficult to find that reliability.
For sure. I mean, with modding, it's the default that you're just doing this for fun. You both know what you're doing, so I think there's a bit more connection there, because you already have like a sense of the sort of games that other person likes. They're probably a Valve fan, they like Portal for sure. If you're just making like games in general, you maybe don't have the instant connection. I can imagine that's a bit more difficult. How I managed this team is I just didn't take it too seriously. Right? I mean, obviously we had deadlines and we had regular meetings and stuff like that, but I wanted to have an environment where people just had fun contributing, to make it as easy as possible to contribute. We just had a single Git mono repo that's several gigabytes with stuff in LFS. That has everything in there, and if you have access to that, you have access to absolutely everything. And it's just a single branch where everyone can commit. So I try to just remove any friction or like anything that would prevent people from enjoying to contribute. And of course, if it's unpaid, you have to just accept that people won't always contribute, right? There were many times where I was the only one who contributed for like 3 months, who did any commits for 3 months. And that's just, it is just how it is. You gotta accept that. For mod, you know, it's maybe less serious. I took it seriously. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it's giving me a bit of more insight. But
We can
just
talk
to
later.
confirm the whole, I don't know if it was even for the voice, but the whole development was, there was no money involved from
No,
your side.
never.
You didn't invest.
It was always clear that this is just unpaid. It's just for fun. We're just doing this because we like Portal. The investment that I've put into this game is like 600 euros, which is one CPU that I bought to compile lighting faster, and that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for a cool presentation. I really enjoyed the cause and effect of the choices you've made and how you've learned from your mistakes. I think those, you present them very well. And yeah, great presentation overall. What I didn't quite understand is, what did Strata Software, how did it play into the development? Did they provide some post effects, something, or how?
So Strata Source was born out of, it was me and another guy called Alex, and he wanted to create Portal 2 Community Edition, and his pitch was it would be like a community-driven version of Portal 2, meant for collaboration and creating stuff, because Portal 2's engine, you have a workshop and you can do a lot of stuff, but there are many limitations. And so he wanted to approach Valve to get code. And at some point he posted in a Discord server, I just got an NDA from Valve, I got responses. And I was like, well, I also want code for my mod, right? But my goal was different, because I wanted to not make a code in, like a collaboration platform. I wanted to make, oh, it's a screensaver, great. I wanted to make my, oh nice, my mod, But then we got in touch. I got in touch with him. So I was like, hey, how did you approach Valve? Then I did the same thing, and then we both kind of, got back and forth with Valve for a year, and then we finally got access to the code, and then we started community edition, and I kind of worked on both at the same time. Community edition, I mainly like whenever I had a problem with my mod, basically, hey, I can only put one test chamber site in a level because Valve programmed it that way. I programmed a new entity, put it into Community Edition, and Portal Revolution would use the same engine. And then later, the Momentum team mod approached us because they also have been trying to get code from Valve for a long time, and then we could actually help them, and we could, kind of introduce them to Valve, sort of. And then they also licensed them. And then we founded like Stratosaurus. It was called Chaos Source at the time. And it is the idea is that it's like a closed source, open source engine. So anybody who has this license, this NDA with Valve, can use this engine. All of the contributions are licensed in a way that my contributions, I can't like just say, hey, you're not allowed to use those now, like with a lot of other open source projects that don't have proper licensing. So it is sort of like a closed source, open source situation. And most of the work I think on the engine is done by the Momentum mod team, and there have just been a lot of things like porting from DX9 to DX11. That was done by the Momentum mod team. It was added into Stratosaurus, and now I have access to that as well.
So you started with like at the very beginning, like with the Portal 2 workshop and like Hammer, I guess, the editor, and then once Stratosource was a thing, you moved to that engine because it's like more customizable, or?
Yeah, before I used Strata, I just used the Portal 2 engine, and there is a way that you can set up a mod and set up Hammer from the Portal 2 authoring tools to like not make a Portal 2 map, but like a mod map, but it was all very jerry-rigged. I never liked that setup. But with the proper project setup, with Stratosource, I could then just set up this one repository. There's the separate code repository, which is licensed, which is just Git ignored, and then there's the main engine, the main game repository, where there's everything in there. But yeah, before then I just used Portal 2's engine, which is very limiting.
All right, thanks.
First of all, amazing game. I really enjoyed it and spent many hours in this game.
How many?
10 hours.
Wow.
I mean,
all achievements.
Not every achievement.
That's even better playtime then.
Yeah, I still need to work on that. Anyway, what I wanted to know, what was the biggest struggle or challenges you had in this 8 years? Did you have a time where you said, oh my God, like for the time where you worked alone, like, oh, can I even finish it?
Like I said, I had a relentless patience for no reason. That was never a problem. I was always going to finish this, even if it took me 8 years. Obviously, I didn't know that it would take me this long, but it was just fun to work on it. There was never really a lack of motivation, never a moment where I thought I'm going to quit this. I think there's also a sunken cost fallacy where you've now invested 3 years into this. You better see it through, even if it takes you more than twice the time. But yeah, I just had so many ideas that I wanted to do, and like getting feedback from players from this competition, from these competitions also. By the way, the second one I won. I didn't even say that there. I won the 50 euros. That was also motivational because it showed me that I could do this sort of stuff. But like technically, the most frustrating thing I would say was working with the unstable Stratosaurus engine. And I don't want to, like shit on the Stratosaurus engine people. It's just that is how working with unstable software is, right? You rebase and everything is broken. Suddenly you transition into a new map and entities are floating everywhere. There's like just a button in the wall. You have no idea why. And now you have to git blame and look through the like 500 git commits that have been added since then. And then you ask a question, the person says, oh yeah, I did that by accident. I could just fix it for you. And then, yeah, that was very frustrating. Not really anything that we could have done about it, though. That's just how it is. I think main thing that I struggled with is probably it's just the mid-development hell. Mid-development hell is hard when you don't feel like you're making any progress. On a game this big, 1 day of work is nothing. But you just gotta have discipline.
And second questions, when is the sequel?
I have ideas for a sequel. I have basically a full outline. It's hard to put another 8 years of work into a sequel. But for real, I would like to make one. But it's hard to like finance something like this, and I'm no longer in school and can just waste time in COVID. That was pretty much the best opportunity I had. Yeah, I can't tell you that.
Thanks for the talk. I have a couple of questions, I think. Three, maybe four, I don't know. Follow-up questions first. You said that you had the team quite open and frictionless and very flat hierarchies and everything, I guess. Did you ever have the problem that some people wanted to add something to your game, because it was always your game, right? That you didn't like, and did you had any problem with that, or how did you handle commits that changed something that you didn't want changed?
For sure. I mean, the things that were changed that I didn't like were mostly very minor. But yeah, the way I approached like decision making was pretty much, I was still like the creative director, you could say, I guess. I knew what the outline would be and everything. And actually most people weren't even that, I don't think there's a single people on the team who was interested in gameplay or like puzzle design. I made the entire puzzle design in that game, which made it very cohesive and easy to work on. Would have been nice to get some, outside feedback, the playtesting, everything. It's hard if you're just in your own head. But yeah, the way I approach it is, if someone had an idea, because we had weekly meetings, at least we tried to, right? Not everyone always joined. It was kind of, I mean, we had 5-hour meetings sometimes because people joined in 3 hours late. I'm still going to be there. As a lead dev, you have to kind of, make those sacrifices. It's a free mod. You can't expect everyone to always show up every week when they have school. But yeah, when someone has an idea, then they just suggest it. I always asked for ideas. Hey, what do you think we should do for, like, should we do a final puzzle? Should we do another puzzle? Should we, what do we do for the voice? What do we do with the script? Do you have any suggestions? And then we just talk about it. And many ideas that have ended up in the game aren't mine, right? I always entertained every idea. If it didn't work, and if I couldn't argue why it's bad, then it's probably a good idea, right? But yeah, it doesn't mean that I just accepted every single idea, of course. But there was never really a moment where I had to say, I'm the boss and you're wrong. But I think it also helps because we had a more lighthearted energy. We were all almost the same age. Right, and we just made this so fun because they had this more lighthearted, we don't take it too seriously, but we're still disciplined environment. That wasn't really ever much of a problem, at least not one that I could see.
Okay. And no one you had to fire because you didn't like working with them?
Early on, yeah, when I was like 14, I didn't know how to tell people what to do. I just said, hey, make me a puzzle. Then they made a puzzle. And it wasn't exactly what I had in my head. Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes very early on, but then I learned from those. And but no, I have not removed anyone from the team for like 4 years.
Okay.
There have been moments where I wanted to remove one person for being less active. They have not been mentioned here because they're not really considered a core team member anymore. But yeah, it's just when that happens, I'm just asking, hey, let's be honest. You haven't contributed in 5 months. Do you really see yourself as a long-time contributor or just like as a one-time contributor? Just let's talk about this. What is your role in this project? What do you think? It is just talking to people instead of like hammering down, I think, is important.
Sounds good. The process of getting the source code from Valve also is really interesting. Like, how were you the first modding team that got the source, or are there any kind of rules, or like how did you did you just ask them, or did you know that it was possible to get the source? Like, and what's kind of like, what were you allowed to do with it or not? Like, kind of the edge points of the NDA.
Yeah.
You can keep it short.
I
Just-
didn't.
yeah.
It's a nice wallpaper, isn't it? It's a good. It's a good question. I didn't know that. I knew that other people had it, but a lot of the problem with modding, most mods never get shipped. There are still many mods that have started before Revolution and have now not shipped. And I knew that there was a way that you could get source code, but I didn't know how to get there. And there's still no official way. Like, there's no Valve website where they just say, hey, you want code? Submit this form or something. It doesn't exist. The way we did it, that is why when Alex got the code, I immediately chased him down, like, hey, how did you get this, right? Because that's something that happens very, very, very rarely, especially now. Yeah, the way I did it is pretty much, I made a Steamworks support ticket. I don't know if you have a Steamworks account. It's a Steam developer account, where you can make a support ticket to Valve from the developer side. And then there I pretty much just wrote, yeah, hi, I'm interested in licensing your engine because, I want to do more things with it. And the question that they always ask is like, well, why can't you use the public SDK? And then I have to educate the person that there is no public SDK for Portal 2. There's only one for Half-Life 2 and Alien Swarm. But yeah, and that took us a year to get there because there's no person at Valve who really, it's the full-time job to do this stuff. It was always like on the side, whatever. That is how they work. Once we had the code, we actually had a really good contact who helped us so much. And he then got, on P2C, at first it was just us 3 people, just us 3 like founders. And now I think there's like 10 people licensed for that. And on Momentum Mod, like 15 people or something. There's a lot of people that have been licensed from that like original spark sort of. I don't really have any limitations. All the codes that they give us, there's literally everything in there. The entire engine, the entire code for the game. What we don't have is the puzzle maker for Portal 2. That's why we don't have an in-game puzzle maker and no workshop. Other than that, the only limitation is that I can only use that code for Portal Revolution and P2C because I have a separate NDA. But yeah, it is now limited per project. I can't make a new project with this code now, technically.
And just two quick questions. So, what about school? Was it ever a problem? Or was school just so easy that you had so much time to do this kind of thing?
During school, you mean?
What?
During school?
During school, yeah. Like when you were 14 or 15, did you fail at school? No, probably not. But was school ever a problem, or was that?
I never found school too hard. I was like, I never had to study that much. Of course, when during Matura and stuff, I didn't work on Revolution that much anymore. I probably neglected schoolwork a bit too much for this. It was just, I was never a person who, I need an A, right? If he gives me one, then sure. If I don't, then I don't care. I kind of like optimized to get as much free time for Portal Revolution that I could, while still not getting the worst grades possible.
And what about your parents? What did they think of you working on that game all the time?
I didn't really talk about it that much, I think, because they didn't really. My mom didn't really understand it. My dad kind of did, but it was so unimpressive at the time that it's just sure. But yeah, I think once we got a trailer, that was kind of like an oh shit moment for them. But yeah, it wasn't like. Because it was never a problem for me that I like neglected school with so much that I now got an F in math or something. It was never a thing that really, they probably thought I was just playing Minecraft all the time.
Okay, and what's next for you? Final question for me. What's next for you?
I'm now talking to a games company that seems like they're maybe gonna hire me. I've still not gotten a proper yes on that. It's taken a long time. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to, because I made barely any money from this. Can't really make my own game studio. So I'm just gonna try to enter the games industry.
So what, you don't want to make your own game studio, or you do want to?
I would like to have like 4 or 5 game ideas that are all full-fledged. It's just hard, you know, I've never had a job. And it's hard to make a game studio when you don't have a lot of any funding.
Okay. We can talk afterwards.
Good.
Hi. The slide says why Hammer is the best. What does it say? The best
Level editor. I have to unlock my screen now.
And I was gonna ask specifically if you see a lot of difference between making a mod and making a quote-unquote regular game, developing with a engine like Unity or Unreal versus the tools that you used. What are the biggest differences? Do you know other engines like Unity? Have you worked with them? What's your experience there?
My account has just locked, so I can't unlock it anymore. Yeah, it says why it's the best level editor. There should be an asterisk there for first-person shooter games, right? The thing with other engines, when people transition from Source to other engines, they're often like baffled at how much you have to do yourself, right? Because Source is really an engine that's, if that is what you want to make, if what you want to make is a first-person shooter, single-player, level-driven thing, it's amazing because the entire engine is built around that. It's still got Quake code in there, a lot of Quake code. And other game engines, they're more like general, right? You can build in Unity or anything. You can build Candy Crush, you can build a shooter, you can build an action RPG. But you kind of have to make your own tools for that. And Hammer, like I've tried Unity and Godot, which is what I'm kind of using now for like a passion project. The thing with those is that they don't really have great mesh building tools. Unity Pro Builder is sort of an attempt, but I've not met a single person who uses it, like who is really happy with it. And then people like build their environments, the levels in Blender, or like they make models. But the problem is, Blender is not a level design program. Blender is a mesh builder program. Because level design is more than just building meshes. You also have all of the scripting. You have a button, it opens a door. You have the lighting and everything. And in Hammer, it's just a single. I mean, it's more of a joke, right? Don't take it too seriously. But in Hammer, you have everything available in one single program, and it's incredibly easy, but also powerful. And a lot of Hammer users, they swear that Hammer is the best. So I could put it there as a joke.
Thank you for the inspiring presentation. When you do a level, you talked about using Hammer. Do you use any sketches or something, or do you just work in Hammer and refine it until you are satisfied?
A lot of people, Portal 2 has an in-game puzzle maker, which is easy to use. A lot of modders use that for like sketches because it's so intuitive. I don't use that because we have so many custom elements that I just can't add them to the puzzle maker. It's just too much friction there. So I just make them in Hammer and just build from there. The way I do it is I call it like a skeleton map. I just have like a black room, and then I just put the important floors where they need to be, and the important walls, and everything else is just void. And that really helps me with like the decoration stuff, because if I already put like gray depth texture wall there, then it kind of locks me in with decoration that I think, oh, this wall always has to be there. Where if it's more open, my mind when I'm decorating kind of is a lot more, I can think about a lot more ideas. But yeah, other than that, I just start in Hammer and go from there. I've just gotten so fast at Hammer that it was just the fastest way for me to do stuff. And sketching stuff out on paper doesn't really help me at all, because Portal is a 3D game. You need the perspective and everything to work. And in Hammer, I bought a really fast CPU, so I could just compile maps really quickly. So I could just make a quick map, hit F9, load it in game, and just play it right there.
Okay, and second question, you briefly mentioned you didn't make barely any money, so donations, are people not very generous?
There is the plush pack DLC and the soundtrack, and we released it pretty late for a few reasons. I think if we had released it earlier, maybe more people would have bought it. But yeah, not a lot of people seem to buy those, and I don't know how much I can like promote this stuff because I also don't want to be too annoying and like constantly say, buy my shit, buy my shit.
Thank you.
On that topic, do mods have to be free? Or if not, why did you make it free?
You can make in source. So there used to be a license that you have to pay for any source engine game if it was to be commercial. For the physics engine Havoc, that used to be $25,000. Valve has actually got in touch with Microsoft, who bought Havoc, to waive that license for all source engine mods. That has happened like 3 years ago, and since then not a single commercial source mod has released. So they did the work. So technically you can release a source engine game commercially, but the Valve IP that I use, Portal, they have to just agree to that and set that up on Steam that it can be paid. And they just never replied to my emails about that. So then when release came, then now it's going to be free. If it was to be paid, I would probably like to spend maybe half a year more on polishing, just to make sure that it's absolutely the best experience it can be. Because if it's paid, the expectations are even higher.
Okay.
Buy his shit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really curious how your career takes even more speed. Do you intend to make a little break once in a while?
I mean, I've just had a 3-month break.
Doing what? Or not doing what?
Talking to everyone I can, playing a lot of Minecraft. Just,
Okay.
Don't know.
Fair enough.
I've also just been keeping myself busy with I'm currently remaking my homepage and doing a lot of coding things, and I've been trying to make a level editor inspired by Hammer in Godot. I've just kept myself busy with personal side projects.
Good luck with that. Good luck with everything. Really impressive. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue in exactly 1 month from today. As you might have seen on the slide, not in this realm, but at IG Architektur, Gumpendorfer Straße, something 60-something B, about queer games. Very different topic, at least as important as modding, I'd say. Maybe we can even combine that. I'm thinking out loud. Long day. Thank you very much for staying, for taking your feet here. Please come back. And the bar is open. Do we have enough beer? Okay. We have water too. Let's find out who is hunting down this young man, actually. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you.